All right, this is the 2025 Las Vegas Sun High School Football Media Day. We're in the Utah Summer Games interview room at the beautiful Red Rock Resort. Shout out to our presenting sponsors, the A's, Las Vegas Aviators, and Zero Team Fatalities. This is the Liberty High Patriots, Coach Rich Morocco. Coach, tell us who you brought today.
So I have Trent Tufele here with me, defensive lineman, senior, and wide receiver, senior, Kellen Iwamoro.
Yeah, Coach, you are a seasoned, old, savvy veteran, and I know the beginning of the year is always a time to rejoice, take stock in the team. How's this year's team separated itself from some of your others?
Yeah, I love this time of year. I like each phase of the year, but the beginning of the year is awesome because it's a fresh start. Everybody's enthused. We got guys competing for jobs. We're going to be a younger team by our standards, probably than the last few years, but we've got a lot of really good players. Handful of seniors, leadership that went through some tough times last year as far as our standards go, but we're doing a good job, so I'm excited about this season.
I'm glad you brought it up. I was going to ask you about, lost to Coronado for the first time in 15 years.
17,
sorry. Great game with Arborview.
Yeah.
Do you throw the tape away from that, or is that on the bulletin board? How does that motivate you guys, or is it just a new year we turn the page?
Obviously the Arborview game that was huge. We knew that came down to that game. Would have put us on the opposite side of the bracket at Gorman, and we felt like we would have been back in the state championship game if that would have happened. A couple plays here or there made the difference, and credit to them, they got the win. Coronado, that one stung. We hadn't lost to them in 17 years, but they kicked our butts. We played poorly, and it's definitely something that's been circled. That game's circled for us, come the end of the year. So we're excited to show everybody that it was a minor slip up for us. Nothing that they're going to be able to count on this year.
Yeah.
I know you like to read, and I saw that Arborview was ranked, I think, 122nd in the nation, Gorman 3rd in the nation. Here you guys are, you're not even sniffing the top 300. Is that bulletin board material, or is that just delete on the email? Or
we've been High School Football America does a great job. We've been ranked nationally for a lot of years now, and we don't deserve to be ranked. We finished 5-7 last year, so there's no reason to believe that we're one of the top 300 teams in the country. At the end of the day, a lot of those rankings are based on what you did last year, and it's nice to get the recognition on a national stage, but I care about what's going to happen this year, so that's where we're at. Rankings don't really mean anything.
Kellen, when I think of Liberty, I think of big, strong linemen, great, strong running game, winning close ball games. How do you guys keep that tradition rolling this year, just being a dominant team?
I think ever since last year, when we got back in the weight room, it was just an unacceptable year. We've been lifting hard, working really hard, just not to allow us to fall below our standard. So I think, just keeping that in mind, working hard, and, through spring ball through now, the linemen, I don't think they've had a day off since then, since February. So, just working hard to be dominant, and it starts up front. So just working hard to stay strong up there.
Yeah, so Trent, you've been working every day since February, he just said. How confident are you in this season? How excited are you to get going?
I'm way more confident now. I feel like these 2 days have been helping a lot. Every day, morning and night. It's just improved a lot since last year, and I'm glad that we're actually having a team bond too.
Yeah. Coach, give us a breakdown of some of your personnel. Who are some other players that we could look for big things from?
Yeah, like I said, certain position groups we're going to be a little on the young side, guys that don't really have varsity film, but we're excellent JV football players. They're going to be able to step up and show what they can do this upcoming season. But we do have several guys that were really big contributors last year. Led here, Kellen Iwamoro was our leading wide receiver, punt returner, kickoff returner. He had 12 or 13 touchdowns last year and led our team in receiving. So he's just a playmaker. We got to get him the ball. We have another several wide receivers. I think that's like the depth of the wide receiver position is probably the strength of our team right now. You know, any one of the 5 or 6 guys can catch the ball and take it to the house, so it's exciting when you have that kind of depth. Obviously, we have an absolute stud of a running back. You know, he's got 13 offers, you know, Wisconsin, Michigan State, big-time schools, you know, SEC, Arkansas. You know, so when you got a kid like that in your backfield that's only going to be a junior, and a big offensive line like you mentioned, you know, we can feed him the rock, and you know, I think offensively we're going to be all right. The one position right now that we're still battling is a quarterback. We've got several guys that are really, really good. Selby Grigo's looking great right now. We have a transfer from out of state. Romero Rinaldo's looking really good, and then we have our freshman quarterback from last year that's competing as well, Madden De La Cruz. So we'll see who kind of shines over the next month and who gets the start at the start of the season, but they're going to have a lot of weapons around them offensively. You know, defensively, linebackers probably the position group where we've been kind of known for over the last maybe 5, 6, 7 years. We've had several Division I football players. This year's group's kind of flying under the radar a little bit, so I'm excited to see who's going to step up from that group. But Trent plays D-line. He's a force to handle up there. You know, our secondary is all solid players. So I'm really excited about our team. I think like our depth and the way we've come together and bonded over the summer, like Trent mentioned, you know, is going to play well for us this season.
Yeah, Trent, one of the cool things about Liberty is you guys travel the region playing in a bunch of games. How does that help get ready for the season? And is that like the most important game that stands out on the schedule, or is it one of these local games?
Maybe local teams. But gets us ready by, usually we start February, so all the way to where we're at now. And pretty much.
You think which out of state game you're looking forward to the most?
Sky Ridge right now.
Sky Ridge?
Yeah.
Because it's the first game of the season.
Yeah.
Coach Morocco, if my job fails, I might need you to come do some interviews for me later on today. But this is the Liberty Patriots with something to prove this year, I think. The old veteran coach is all fired up. Shout out one more time to our event sponsors, Utah Summer Games, Phase 1 Elite, the U.S. Navy, and New World Graphics for those cool T-shirts. Coach, Kellen, Trent, my guy, strip sack, TD, take it to the house. Here we go, Patriots.